the heck? Hmm.
You guys can't. Nobody told me they couldn't hear me. Okay, now can you hear me? All right, so because it's saying, oh wait, hold on. All right, so it's telling me my browser lost connection to my mic, but it didn't. Okay, let me see. All right, let's do it that way. Okay, so I don't think it did. So if you can't hear me, let me know, or I won't know that you can't hear me. So basically, hold on. I'm sorry. There, you were getting like this echo of me, and I don't want you having an echo of me. It's like echo, echo, echo. So now you won't get an echo. So basically, I'm over here. Yes, I'm working two systems here because the it said the browser said that you lost connection. So basically, what we're going to be going through is some of the amazing questions that I got from people about gardening. And I know it's like, oh, Louise, you know some stuff about gardening. I do some things. You guys teach me. So if you have a really cool gardening tip, let me know because I want to know. Let me know what your gardening tip is. And I'm going to answer some of your cool questions about gardening as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go downstairs and we're going to do a lot of that downstairs in my garden, where I have all of the plants, and we'll talk about it because I don't think it's raining, which is awesome. But it was raining earlier. So we're going to go downstairs. You and I are going to go downstairs to my little area. So I'm going to take you off of this. Well, actually, I think I'm just going to carry you on this. I'm going to carry you on this. So we're going downstairs to the area that I have set up that I'm using. I'm going to do it that way. And I'm just going to carry you on this thing because I like this. And yeah, this is a weird little thing because I have several, but this is kind of cool. Let me see if I could pull the legs in. Maybe not. I'm just going to leave the legs the way they are. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a little twisty thing. So maybe I can pull. Oh, there we go. I can pull the legs in so I don't kill myself on the way down the stairs. Yes. All right. So we're going to go down the stairs. We're going to go into, we're going to go around to the little area. Oh, did I twist? I twist you around. And hopefully I'll still be able to see your comments. So we're going to go down the stairs. You're looking at my hall right now. You're looking at my hallway. And I'm just going to go right here really quickly. Yes, we're in my dining room. And if you were with me over the winter, then you've already seen this dining room, but it had better days. It's pretty messy today. And that's why you don't see it. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you can see if you got that back look, then you can see that my dining room is dreadfully messy today. And here we go. We're going outside. Yes, there. So now we're outside. We're outside of my studio. Whoop. Okay, I'm going to tighten this up. So we're outside in my garden, but this isn't where we are. I'm just tightening this up a little bit so that when I lean it down like this and tilt you, cool, look at that. There's one of my gardens, and we'll be working in this garden. Can you see that? We'll actually be working in this garden this summer. You guys will be hanging out with me in this garden. You can see things are coming up. Look at the you see I have some uh different things coming up in my garden. I have some daffodils coming up. I have some tulips coming up. I love tulips. Daffodils, I like. I'm not saying that I'm a huge fan of daffodils, but I do like them. But I didn't get a chance to plant a lot of things this year. You can see my peonies are coming up too. Do you see those peonies coming up? Lots of peonies coming up. Oh, that's what's spinning around. So you can see I got some peonies coming up. I got some tulips. I love, love, love tulips. I'm a big fan of tulips. So I try to plant a lot of tulips, but I also plant quite a few daffodils because I do like daffodils as well. I'd say I don't like daffodils as much as tulips, but I like planting them. Like I think I told you guys once before, I like planting everything. I do a planting thing. Tulips coming, and then look at that. Sorry about that. Sorry, I got too far away from our service, and so it started circling. So I'm not going to go that far out into my garden, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that are coming up in my garden. And tulips are some of my favorite things that are coming up in my garden. So you can see the tulips coming up. There they are. And there's other things coming up as well. And then along here, I have some spring things coming up too. But we're going over here, and I'm hoping that I stay close enough to the house where it won't shut off on us. And then over here, you can see some really nice tulips coming up. Oops, I just ran into one of my bushes. We're going to go down a little bit so you can see these. There we go. Hold on, I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see them better, so I'm not twisting you about. How about that? We're going to go ahead and flip the camera around so you guys can see. There we go. So you guys can see what I see. So there we go. Can you see that? Those are some things that are coming up in my garden. Look at over here. These have already spent a little bit. So now we're going to come over here. You can see it. Look at my grass. I just put down some more seed because it's going to rain some more. So this is the area. Look at all my plants. So these are all of my plants. And basically, what I'm doing, like next Saturday, I'll do a sale. And I had one this Saturday. People aren't quite ready. And then you see that over there. I just have like my little PayPal stuff. And so will call and say, oh, I want to pick up such and such. And then they can come out here and pick up plants that they want. And they can just they can pay me via PayPal. They can pay me via whatever. They can pay me via yes. And you're like, well, Louise, you are very trusting. I am. It's on a trust system, and hopefully we can trust our fellow man. At least I like to think so. I'm gonna put this down here because we're gonna be talking from here since it's not raining. I can stay out here, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I kind of trust my fellow man, and they can come out here and grab some plants. I have a little shovel, and they can pull it up, dig it up, and then they can put it. I have little white ones, and they can dig it up and they can put it in a little container. And then I didn't put the prices on, and I'll put the prices on, and then they can just take it with them, and they can Venmo me or PayPal me or send me or they can Cash App me, and then they can take their buy on with them. Bye. And that's basically it. And that's like, you can't beat that for no contact, no contact service, right? That's how I'm looking at it. It's like, it's great for no contact. You don't have to come around anybody. You don't have to touch anybody. If you still got the whole, I want to be COVID free, that kind of stuff. Or, those that have, those of you that have taken shots and things like that, it's okay. You guys can do it. You can come around people, which is awesome. So, let's talk about like I said, I've gotten some questions, and I pull out my little glasses because I'm on my little camera. So I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you guys sent in to me to answer for you. And that's what I wanted. I want to make sure that I answer some of your cool questions. And I got a really cool one from a friend named Lori. And Lori, yeah, I want to tell you, I have never done the newspaper thing, but I did look it up. Hers is what if you use newspaper to deter, I think I left out the E, but it's okay. Weeds, how thick does the layers need to be? And so I did look it up, and I think it's a great idea. You actually, you need about 7 to 10 layers because you want to make it thick. And you also can use cardboard. You can use cardboard as well. But you have to make sure you bury all of it under mulch and or either leaves or things like that. You definitely want to make sure you bury them pretty well. Bury all of that pretty well under mulch and leaves and stuff like that. You want to. And I love the idea. I was like, how cool is that? I did some research and some reading. So, yes, you can use newspaper to deter weeds in your garden. Da-da-da. And you know what? What's the thing that we accumulate the most? Newspaper, especially if you get daily deliveries, which I do. Just feel bad about putting the Wall Street Journal on the ground deterring weeds, which is cool. And the other thing is what's great about newspaper is it will decompose, which a lot of other things will not decompose. So great idea to use newspaper to deter weeds and to kind of try to keep them out of your garden. But make sure when you use it that you definitely do your weeding first. Weed first and then put the newspaper down, because if you don't weed first, it's defeating the purpose. It's not going to kill the weeds. It will just deter the weeds. So if you put the newspaper on top of weeds, the weeds are like, what? You want me to go to sleep? You putting a blanket over me? What is this? You know, the weeds will just find another avenue, another way of getting out. So definitely, if you want to deter weeds, go ahead and use some newspaper. Use between 7 and 10 layers. You want to layer it thick, because in that way, you can keep the weeds down in your garden. Wonderful, wonderful question. Thank you so much, Lori, for sending that in. I love that question. Another question that we have, and this is from Luz. Luz is a great friend of mine, and I love her. Luz always leaves me comments and talks on always talks on there. And like I said, if you guys definitely share, like, and make comments, because it always helps with comments. And then sometimes I have people, because Facebook is funny. If you guys don't share and comment and things like that, Facebook will push me so far down that people don't see me, because I've noticed that that's happened. Because when I don't come on the air, then Facebook like sort of gets rid of my broadcast because it's not popular anymore because I haven't been on it. So definitely share it. Tell your friends to like it and make comments, because then that way they won't push me down. So if you don't see me sometime, that's why Facebook is like, oh, you're not important. So here's our other question. This is from Luz. It says, what do you like? This was very funny to me. She says, what do I like? What do I find that's easy? What's the easiest flower or plant to grow and maintain? Something that will bloom every single year and get great sun. And she said she left the garden center. She went to go buy some plants, left because it was just too overwhelming for her, which I thought was hilarious. But I get, because it is overwhelming, and there's a lot of plants out there, and if you don't know what to grow, you don't know. And the other thing is people don't read what grows in their area. That's another thing, and that's something that I'm going to talk about in these coming days, is how to select things that grow in your area. It's very important that you select things that grow in your area. Like if you grow, mostly go to a garden center. Your garden center is going to try to only sell you things that grow in your area, and things that don't grow in your area will be under the annual section or houseplant section. Whereas places like Home Depot and Lowe's, they will get things that do not grow in your area. So you have to be very careful. You have to know your grow zone. And if you don't, you could end up buying things that will not grow in your area. And then sometimes you'll buy things that was like, oh, it might grow in your area. No, don't. And then things that are like, oh yeah, it's 10 degrees Celsius or minus 10 degrees. I'm going to tell you why it's not good to buy those either, because you did, unless you will only go down to minus 10 degrees. But if you're in places like Colorado, Chicago, don't mess with those. Don't mess with those because they will die on you. So to answer Lou's questions, in the spring you can do all kind of tulips and daffodils and all of those beautiful spring, the crocus, all of those beautiful spring bulbs, because they will come back up gladly every single year for you without a problem, without any fuss. If you want to do a really nice spring plant with some spring color, that's why I plant them, because I want really beautiful spring color. So tulips and daffodils I do in the spring. And then you have the other thing that I find that I don't have a lot of problems with is Delphinias. And I should have put pictures up here, but I'll do that next week. Delphinias. Delphinias are amazing. You can plant those without a lot of problems. I've never had problems. They're beautiful. And Delphinias come in so many different colors. Purples, yellows, blues, you name it, reds, Delphinias will come in those colors. So you can actually go and find Delphinias in colors that you really, really like. And I think those would be a lot of fun. Oh, and I should have put that down there for you. Hold on, because I'm not spelling any of this out for you, am I? Or telling you, because I can put it, I'll put it in your section. But tulips and daffodils, amazing, amazing plants. Definitely some things that you can put in your garden. You'll absolutely love them. You'll love tulips. You'll love daffodils. Hold on, I'm gonna go in here and see. I'm just going in my little picture section. I don't know if I've ever used this camera to record flowers. Oh, here is some. I'm going to show you right now. Um, this is, no, that's a butterfly bush. I don't want to put a butterfly bush up there for you. That's not a delphinia. I'm trying to show you a nice delphinia, which delphinias are perennial. I do what is called a perennial garden. I'm a perennial gardener. Not saying that I don't use annual plants. I do use some of them, but even in my potted plants, even in my a lot in my plants that I have a lot of front, I try to put perennials in. And the reason why I like doing perennials is I'm going to tell you the reason is because I don't want to have to plant them every year. Now, I do have a potted area that I do plant every year, because you're not going to get away from planting things every year. You're always going to have something that you are going to have to plant every year. Sorry about that. You're always going to have something that you're going to have to plant every year. And Luz, I will definitely post those for you. I was trying to see on this particular one, I don't have a lot of plants on this particular iPad, but we'll go upstairs and I'm going to post a few things for you to see, those kind of plants. But delphinias, I love. Phlox, I love. That's PHLOX. Those I love. Those you can get also in a variety of colors. If you like colorful things, that's something that you can get in a variety of colors, which I absolutely love. That one. And I'll be showing you guys all kinds of plants over the summer, that are in my yard. Butterfly bushes are absolutely amazing. I love butterfly bushes. I like buying them. They grow sort of late summer. This is a fox right here, and I have a white one. This is actually a white one that I have. It's not but you can get this in different colors. You can get this in pinks and blues and all kinds of things like that. So this is a beautiful one. This is really a nice full one. So that one you can actually get it in pinks, you can get it in blues, you can get it in purples, you can get it in a wide range of colors. What's another one? I'm trying to think of another plant, and that's also a spring fall. They come up. Peonies, love, love, love peonies. Lots of color, big, huge, bold plants, which are absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to show you what is it? these, because these are different things that will come up year after year. Butterfly bushes are a lot of fun. Beautiful purplish colors. If you like purplish colors, this is a butterfly bush. And you can see I have a couple of, the other thing is right next to that is cosmos. Now I will throw some cosmos in the ground every single year. Cosmos and zinnias I'll throw in the ground every single year. They're both annuals, but cosmos will reseed. So if you want to do cosmos, cosmos will reseed themselves. So I'll have cosmos growing in my garden. I'm like, what the heck? Where'd this come from? Because the cosmos reseed. So if you do that, make sure you plant them somewhere you don't mind them reseeding. I put them in my front garden. I have to pull those bad fellows up all the time because I don't want them reseeding there, but they will. So, but cosmos, they'll reseed and do those kind of things. So those are some of the plants that I would recommend for your summer garden, for your garden. And all of those that I've recommended are all full sun, because my gardens, all of both of my gardens are all full sun. I have a shady area that I'm going to be working on this year. But mostly, for the most part, I am a sunny gardener. Sunny gardener. So if you're a sunny gardener, great, because that's what I am. I am a sun gardener. And now I have, this question is going to be in three parts because it was pretty long. This is actually from a friend of mine on Facebook that's in the art group with me. And she says, I was wondering how you check to see if your seedlings need water. And I to prefer to water. She also prefers to water at the bottom because you guys know I water my seedlings from the bottom. Basically, the old-fashioned way. I'm going to show you. I lift it and I check it. And sometimes I just put my finger. I'll just stick my finger down in there and see if there's water needed. And because I don't want them ever to go limp. The worst thing is to have them go limp because then it's harder. And I also touch the soil. I'm a soil toucher. The first thing I do before I lift it is I'll check the soil. And if the soil feels dry, then I know that water needs to be in them. Like these right here, these don't have any water. There's no water at the bottom of these. I'm just going to pull this off. There's no water at the bottom of these, but look how wet the sides are. I know my fingernails get dirty because I do a lot of gardening, so forgive me for that. Uh, sorry. But you see how moist this is? This is still wet. This still has a lot of moisture on the inside because this is very, very, very moist. So that I know has water and doesn't need any. Same for these. I repotted these and look how moist that is. That's very moist. So I know that the soil is still pretty moist. So some things I check, I'll check the soil. And if the soil looks dry on top, then I'm going to go ahead and water. I'm going to go ahead and put water in it. And then, after that, I'll check underneath it and look at that. But if you have roots growing, let me share this with you because I did that with these. This was a fight over here. I'm going to show you these. I'm going to bring them up. Over here, I had to repot these because if you have plants and oh my gosh, look what I did. I pulled this up. I must have pulled it up with my sleeve. And now I have to see where it came from because I'm just gonna keep this out because I don't remember which one it is. I know it came out of here, but I'm gonna put it in this. Okay, so if you have plants, and I'm gonna bring this down because this is very important because when you're watering, and I hope you see these, and you can see I've lost a few of these. I'm gonna tell you why I lost them. And because once I lift this up, and you'll see why I lost these. Because it doesn't matter how much water I put in them. Look at all of the growth in the bottom. You see that? These things have outgrown this. They've outgrown this pot. And I can keep watering them, but they're still not going to get enough water because they're not getting the nutrients that my soil would also provide for them. And so I've had to repot a lot of them. And that's what's over here. They've been repotted. So now look how healthy they are. They look a lot healthier because they're repotted and they have more places. They have some more room to grow. Here they're done. They have no more room to grow. And so a lot of them just started like, I give up, I'm done. So I'm gonna repot the rest of these so that they can live. You can live. So I'll be out here later repotting a lot of those to give them some more life because they definitely need some repotting. The other part of her question, the other part of this question, I'm going to pull it up, is in the past, I have found it difficult to find the balance between dry and heavy. Uh, uh, Having weakening, what dry and having uh plants to make them so because she's feeling like sometimes she's overwatered them, and that's happened to me. That happened to me with these right here. This is beets. These are beets, and I had beets in with when I first start potting them. I had these beets in with they were in with a squash, and of course squash takes more water. And so what I ended up doing was I took these beets out once they got a certain size. I took them out because they were going limp, and look how beautiful it is now. It's up, it's perky, it's chipper. I repotted it and put some more soil in because these beets did they were actually coming out of the bottom. They were coming out of the bottom. They have a thinner layer, they have a thinner root, and it was actually coming out of the bottom, and I didn't notice it until later because this is my first year growing beets. I wanted to try them. So definitely my first thought is to look to make sure it's not growing out of the bottom and it's not getting too much water, because your plants can get too much water. There is a such thing, like you said, there is overwatering. But like I said, the best thing to do is to check your soil and to find out how much water that particular plant needs. That's the biggest thing. If it says moderate, then water it moderately. If it says heavy, water it heavily. If it doesn't, and it's the same thing. So once they start germinating, they don't need as much. One of the things that I didn't do a lot of watering in the beginning, I don't know if you guys saw my first show. I put the water in, and then I put the topsoil on, and then the moisture was kept into the plant. There was a couple of plants that I did overwater, and they didn't even seed until the water receded. Once the water dried out, then they started seeding. So there are plants that do not need as much water. So definitely look at it, read, and see how far to plant your seed down. Some seeds do not need to be planted too far below the in a lot of soil. Some seeds you just lightly cover that plant, you just lightly cover the seed and it'll germinate that way. Every seed does not need to be planted deep down into your soil. So remember that. And the same thing with watering. Check your water and see how things are going. If your plant looks like it's going limp because of water, pour that water out and let it dry out. Let that plant dry out. Let it dry out and see if it perks back up, because it might be some other things that were going on as well. So definitely check that out. The other thing was is they get soggy and grow the right because there's too much water in there. Sometimes that happens. It'll happen to my plants too. I clear it out, but I find that it's also how many plants you have about. Like when I have a lot of plants growing, it's the air circulation is a lot different. So I try to make sure I start moving some things around. Like this one right here has less air circulation in it, so I will start seeing the little white forming, and then I go in and I will, you know, take it off. I take the white stuff off. I go in and take it off and get the soil back. I get the soil back so that I won't get that sort of mold feel, because I don't like having that smell in my house. So I will go in and clean up things with that if I see anything forming. So I don't get a lot of that whiteness, but if I do, I'll go in and clean it. It's some of it is just unpreventable. It's going to happen. So just go in and clear it out. And like I said, if you find that some of your plants are going limp, pour that water out. If you feel like it's water, pour it out, and then let that plant dry off. If you have a covering over it, take it off so that water can get dry out and it can evaporate off of the plant. All right, and then it says I did keep a plastic covering over. Do I vent? Yes. I don't. The small plastic coverings that you put over there, they have sometimes they have vents in them and sometimes they don't. So when I have the small, when I'm just starting, no, those do not have any vents in them. You just put it on there and it just works as this really nice dome, and there's no vents in it. When I make it taller and put the plastic around it, yes, there is a space that's open to allow air to circulate in it. But basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to retain moisture. And the best way to do that is to not have any openings, especially those first seedlings. I don't have any openings, and so it doesn't vent. It gets air when I take it off and have to check it. I do go and check my plants. I want you to know that. I check my plants even when they're just starting out. I'll lift it up, have a look at them, and see how they're growing. So, definitely, you want to go and check your plants and you want to go and see how they're growing all the time. That's one of the things that I do. I go and check my different plants. I see how they're growing, all of those different things. And so, and I have a lot grow. I have a lot growing. So definitely, you definitely want to go and check your plants and see how they're growing anytime that you have them in your bed. So thanks, guys. This was exciting. Thanks for sending your questions in and hanging out with me. I'm gonna put my little, where's my, there it is. Put my little gardening thing up. Ta-da. So thank you guys for hanging out with me and sending me questions. I'm excited. And if you have more questions, definitely send them in. We will be back next week. Like I said, originally we were supposed to be outside and doing some outdoor gardening, but as you can see, it's pretty gray. It's a gray day. Not saying I couldn't work in a gray day, but and it was supposed to rain, but I'm looking at the ground and well, it did rain a little bit because I do have some wet areas, but it didn't rain as much as I thought. So I could have planned my whole outdoor thing, and I still might do some outdoor stuff. I'll just record it, and you guys will get a nice video of it. How about that? So I will be signing off and saying thanks for hanging out with me and thanks for leaving me such great comments and great questions. So pack up your questions for next week and put them on there. I will be sending out another send me your questions and share this video with your friends and let them comment on it. So until next time.